Okay, let's see if this is going to work. This is my first time using this new camera. I'm going to make a video here. I'm going to show you how to make the greatest chocolate torte ever. And very simple, and it's going to be amazingly fast. Watch this. Got the oven going to 350. It's sitting there waiting. I have one Teflon pot right here. Into the Teflon pot, I put 3/4 of a stick of butter. Okay, butter up into the pot. In the butter. Flames on. Put it about halfway medium. I got 1 bar, 4 ounces of 100% cocoa. Chocolate. No sugar in this. This is great for diabetics. They just love it. I've been surviving on these things since August. Let me tell you, they're delicious. You'd never know that there was no sugar and no carbs in this, or extremely little carbs. So you break up the chocolate and you let that sit. Alright, now next thing we need is a measuring cup. Hold on. Now, this is, I'll put my glasses on, fairly easy to work. So we need 1/3 of a cup of milk. So we put in 1/3 of a cup of milk. Almost there. Okay, close enough. And then, one of our secret ingredients, Schmuckers, sugar-free anything. I generally go with the apricot or the raspberry. They were out of both, so I've got strawberry preserves, sugar-free. No sugar in these. So we also need 1/3 of a cup. So the neat way to do this, of course, is you put a liquid in there, and then you put in the jelly or preserves until it reads 2/3 of a cup. Pretty clever. Should be interesting. So there's 2/3 of a cup right there. Cap this. Now everything is starting to melt. So I'm going to add this to the concoction here. Oh, it's going to be interesting with the strawberry this time. So while that's going, I want to add 2 tablespoons instant coffee. Poof! Gives it that nice chocolate. So this is still cooking, and I want everything to get nice and smooth in here. I should have given up on the fork at this point and use a rubber spatula, but I'll get to that. I just don't want to lose anything off of the fork. Meanwhile, I separated 3 eggs. So we have the egg whites going into yon KitchenAid. Plop. And the egg yolks are going to sit right here. And just so I don't forget, I'm going to find some vanilla and use probably about a teaspoon, which is about all this has left in it. Sayonara. I just threw the vanilla in there with the eggs, just so I don't forget it. Okay, now we need just a pinch of cream of tartar. So we're going to whip these egg whites. That's what's going to give this torte its loft. So into the KitchenAid, we'll start this spinning slowly at first. Alright. Now we can take our spatula and start stirring the chocolate mix around. Get everything melted in there. We'll give it a little bit more heat to get things going. And we have a pan. One of these spring-form pans. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to hit it with a little bit of cooking spray so nothing sticks. I've got to have one of these things stick to it anyhow. So that's ready to go. Oven's up to temperature. I'm going to bring up the speed of this KitchenAid. Get it up and whipped. And this is melting nicely in there. have some of these strawberry preserves that will give it a little bit of sweetness and some nice flavor too. Oh, almost forgot. I've been adding on things to this. We're going to put some cinnamon in, just because it's really, really good for us. A lot of cinnamon. Alright, so now it's starting to bubble. I don't want this to burn at all. So I'm stirring it. And you know what else I've been experimenting with is cayenne pepper. That seems to do a nice job setting off the chocolate. So I'll put a tiny, tiny thing. You be careful, this is strong. Cayenne pepper in there. And we're getting there on the egg whites. They should be done shortly. So now I've got this all nice and melted. I'm going to introduce the egg yolks and stir them so nothing actually cooks in there. So the egg yolks go in along with the vanilla. The original recipe called for 1 yolk, but that seemed like a waste, and I added the extra 2 yolks, and boy, it's just as good. So that's our egg yolks. Now the next thing I'm going to add in here is something I almost forgot on the first batch. Let's see, I guess that's not enough. The first batch I made, I forgot this till the end. This is 0-calorie sweetener compared to Splenda. I know a lot of people hate it, but hey, it's better for us than sugar, I think. Anyhow, and I can't stand the stevia or any of the other natural artificial sweeteners. You know something, they make your blood spike, natural or not. So I stick with this stuff. So this is 1.5 cups of Splenda. If you're not diabetic, you can use sugar if you want, but Splenda works just fine, and no one's been able to tell the difference. I made 2 of these identical, except one I put Splenda in, the other one had sugar, and people had them both, and they taste just the same. So good going Splenda. So now I have this lovely molten chocolate stuff with the Splenda mixed in. Now I've got, let's see, I've got my nice fluffy egg whites here. See, and that didn't take us any time at all. Take a look at this. This is full of air. So we want to keep most of that air in there if we can. Now the recipe also calls for 1/4 cup of flour. So I know flour is not the best thing for us, and it does contain some carbs, but I use whole wheat pastry flour, and this is really good stuff. It doesn't make your blood spike. So that goes in. And then throw in about 1/4 teaspoon or so of salt. Poof. And then we want to fold this mixture in. So what I'm going to do here is I'll pop it right up here for the moment so you can see, but I'm going to dump it all in. Most of it rushes to the bottom because it's much heavier than those egg whites. And I'll save a little in the pan for me. You know, the cook gets to lick the pot here. Oh, so good. Okay, so we're just gonna, don't want to lose any of this. It's extra lot. So we'll mix it slowly, fold it in, you know, and that, as long as you don't see big lumps of white egg whites in your cake, in your pan when you pour it, then you folded it sufficiently. So as soon as those white chunks have disappeared, then you're good to go. Okay. Come on. I might have beat this just a little too much, but that's okay, more loft. You don't want this to be a cookie. And the whipped egg whites are what prevents it from becoming a cookie. Now this will go into that pan, and we'll pop it in a 350 oven for exactly 25 minutes. This one, I've made so many of them, I don't even have to think about it anymore. It's 25 minutes and that's all it is. So that looks pretty good there. Little pieces, but we got just about all of it. And once it hits the oven, that'll make everything homogeneous. So it goes into our springform pan, except the little bit that we sacrificed to the cook. I don't want to miss any of this. This is just so good. And everyone here likes them too. Everyone, it's unanimous. This is a great recipe. And I really haven't changed too much other than adding cinnamon and cayenne pepper. This is exactly what you find in Diabetic Gourmet on their website, which is quite helpful. I'm not sure who came up with this original recipe, but they need a medal. They really need a reward for this one. And this can be eaten by diabetics and non-diabetics. And both of them will have a smile on their face. It's also very concentrated, so you don't need a giant piece of it to be happy. This one cake with me and my family will probably last about 3-4 days with us snitching it bit by bit. A little piece here, a little piece there. That seems to be what happens to the poor things, but they do last, and you don't need a lot. So there it is, going into the oven, top shelf. And we'll set that for 25 minutes. Well, let's see, timer 25. Start. In 25 minutes, it's done. You take it out. I make a simple glaze for it with a quarter stick of butter, maybe an ounce or so of semi-sweet chocolate or dark chocolate with no sugar in it. If I do the no sugar route, I'll add a little bit of honey actually add a little bit of honey either way, just to make everything nice and smooth. But it comes out great. You just pour it over the top, let it harden, and it's the best ever. I'll show you a picture when this is all done. Right now I gotta shut the camera off. Let's